Hello.
Hi David. This is David, he's the producer of Original Sin, and we'll show you the game together today. So if you're playing in multiplayer, that means that David and I can disagree off-screen, but also on-screen.
Hey, there's a talking shell here.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I think you should sell it.
But
No, you should sell it.
okay, so if you are in disagreement like this when you have to make a decision, the game checks and calculates who wins the discussion. And in this case, Sven won.
I'm happy that we're doing this again, David.
What? Doing what?
Well, playing multiplayer, it's been a long
Oh
time.
yeah, it's always fun.
Hey, what did you do with the shell in
What
the end?
shell?
Come on, the shell.
Oh yeah, that silly thing. Yeah, I just sold it.
I always wondered about that actually. Oh, I got a scene here with Us, the Intellect Devourer.
Us?
Yeah, haven't you seen this? Oh, hold on, you're gonna love this. Let me show you. There's really a lot of options here, so 1 second. All right, check it out.
Ooh.
All right, yeah. I mean, okay. So what do you want us to do? I could do the Githyanki thing, destroy it, but there's also other stuff that I can do. What do you think?
But you are a Githyanki, so if you role play it, you could.
What are you doing here?
What's he doing here?
Big dexterity.
But why? No, he's a
No, I'm
Githyanki.
kind of guy.
No, I'm a Githyanki. Well, but yeah, maybe. So I think that we should. Allee jongens, kom aan. Hey, doe de kit wel. Alright, well that settles it. It's always the same problem, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, we need to solve this, you know?
Yeah, they're always barging in, telling us what to do.
I think we need a vote system.
A voting system and dialogues.
Yeah. And that we bring.
We could also use it online.
Oh,
when
I
you're
like that.
streaming, you can ask your audience, what do you do?
Oh my god, oh my god. Let's do this!
Yeah!
Feature buttons, 1, 2, 3. You can push on the buttons.
Not even blue.
There's no blue thing, so I get the hammer.
Then where's the sickle? I mean,
Dan moet de cam. De messagebox, ja.
gokken op wie dat was.
Ja.
Oh, we moeten aftakken.
It works!
It's done.
Brilliant! It's finished! It's glorious! It's gonna work!
Yeah. Now, someone's going to have to tell Jason.
And you know what? That's exactly what we did. But about 2 years ago, we told Jason Latino, our cinematic director, what our ambitions were with Baldur's Gate 3 for both single player and multiplayer cinematics, and he came up with some fantastic solutions. We have an interview with Jason, so I suggest we have a look at that, and then I'll be back.
I'm Jason Latino, Cinematic Director here at Larian Studios. We're in the Dublin office. This is where both the writing team is centrally located along with cinematics. So we're determining in this office like what story we're telling and how we're telling the story, which is taking that camera down from being above the players and right into the drama and right into the action.
Say it. You think I'm a monster?
We've come up with a system that allows voting, that allows kind of seeing other players' preferences for what I would do in that scenario. You might be learning secrets, you might be finding out about a weapon cache somewhere or a certain mission that you want to do on your own. The fact that you're suddenly observed is information you need to know as the player, and presenting that in a cinematic way is what my whole department is doing. Baldur's Gate is an absolutely huge game. I can't think of another early access game that's done cinematics on this level, that has deliberately chosen to present their story in close-up like this. There's a lot of games where the moment you add cinematics, they have to get smaller because they have to. There's animations and all the manual work that goes into this stuff. We didn't want to do that. We don't want to limit the stories that, I don't want to be the guy that showed up and limit the stories that Larian's telling. So we're working on some adaptive cameras that work the same way if you're a half elf or if you're a halfling. And we want you, if you're playing a gnome, for that story to be told from your perspective. We want that to be cinematic. We want you to feel like you're telling your story and we're shooting it for you. If you're walking around and you see one of your buddies is engaged in dialogue, that means they are seeing a cutscene, that they have blinders on. And this is something that kind of goes back with the kind of the Larian tradition of being able to pickpocket people that are kind of engaged in social activities and sequences. And so you can pickpocket your friends, you can pickpocket the person they're talking to. You can move around dynamic objects and pickpocket them. Yeah.
Oh, Petal. My, the mask suits you.
Later on, if you choose to play a Starian or a vampire, you might wake up in the middle of the night kind of looking for a midnight snack. The menu, the dialogue options, the way that you can take that scene is basically going to be a list of your friends or party members. If you're playing multiplayer, that's going to be a list of the guys that you're playing with. And what's great about that is not only are they on the menu for that night, they're going to see that. They're going to see that they're on the menu. And through the kind of the voting mechanic, they're going to be able to say, it's like, no, okay, I'll give one up for the team. Or they can try and sell at their buddies and just say, no, bite him. So that's a way that, like, there's that dramatic irony that we're able to play on, and we'll be looking for more ways to experiment with as we develop the game, because taking on multiplayer cinematics is something that hasn't really been done. It's typically you'll have a multiplayer game with cinematics, and they're consumed basically the same way.
All I want is a little fun. Is that so much to ask?
And what we want to do is take that one step further, and actually this is like, well, your friends are seeing that you're seeing this as well, and they're putting their vote on. They can try and sell their friend out. They can say, don't eat me, or just like, no, bite me. And so they don't have control over the situation. So there's that fine kind of dramatic irony that you get in this game with our multiplayer cinematics, and we're always going to be looking for more opportunities to do this. That's just one that we're wrenching in currently.
Stop! I give up!
It's an experiment. There's not many kind of narrative experiences of that kind. Cinematics is typically you watch a movie versus participate in it. And even though there are other games that allow you to choose where the story goes, there are very few games that allow you to do that in concert with your friends and through multiplayer. So developing those scenes, figuring out when we're trying this, what works and what doesn't, throwing stuff out, adding things in, mutating, rewriting, reshooting, that's an organic process that we all get to do together. That's what early access is all about, is figuring out what has impact with you guys, what has resonance, and how we can surface that more in the way that we choose to do our work.
And that is just the dialogues in multiplayer. There is so much more to the multiplayer version of Baldur's Gate 3 that you have to experience it to believe it. For example, in combat, when it is your turn and it is another player's turn at the same time, you can now simultaneously command your party and have them do things and have them interact with each other, actually. Which leads to a lot of discussion, obviously, but is also a lot of fun. Likewise, if you're a streamer, you can, at any moment that you want, give control of your dialogues to your audience, and then you will see what they voted for. And I think it's going to lead to a lot of very, very interesting adventures. We have more, but it's not all of it is ready, because the game is still in development and we're just preparing for early access. But once the early access campaign will be rolling, we are going to introduce multiplayer feature after multiplayer feature, and obviously we're going to listen to what you have to tell us, and then we'll add those things on top of it also, at least if they're doable. That's it for me today. We are going to be back with a new community update, and in that one we're going to tackle the topic of romance in Baldur's Gate 3. See you soon, take care, bye bye.
Where's my show?